Thank you for watching, and remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support.
Pacific Northwest. I'm meteorologist Jacqui Jeras. I'm joined by meteorologist Chris Warren, who is on the radar. We'll get to him in just a minute, but we want to start with the active weather alerts right now. And as you can see, we do have some winter weather alerts. We've got some wind alerts as well. About 2,000 are under the wind alerts. And as for the winter alerts, it's about 2.5 million people that are dealing with that. Let's go back to the globe right now, and we want to take you over to where some of the worst of the weather is that we're following on Storm Center. Yeah, a huge storm for them. Of course, our first biggie. We haven't had our first biggie yet. Can't decide if that would be like my worst nightmare or a heck of a lot of fun.
Be stuck in a pub for 3 days?
Stuck in the pub, right?
Right.
As long as they don't run out of food, drink, and power.
As soon as the keg goes dry, it gets a little boring in a hurry.
It gets a little tense.
Get old.
All right. Well, we don't have any big storms in our near-term outlook, but what are things progressing like later on into the winter months? Of course, tomorrow, the last day of November. December is right around the corner. Are you decorating for the holidays yet? Of course, Hanukkah underway right now. So our outlook for December 6th through the 12th, about a week's time from now, is showing above average precipitation, most likely, especially in the Pacific Northwest. That's not great news with the atmospheric rivers that continue to bring flood issues there. It also brings below average precipitation across much of the southern tier of the country, as well as into parts of the plains. This really tells us that our jet stream pattern, and our jet stream is going to be tracking up here to the north, where it has been as of late, which generally brings wet conditions along with the jet stream, because that's where the storms flow within, and then drier, warmer conditions across the southern tier. So that's a look at the month of December as a whole. And as we take a look at winter now as a whole, this is from the Climate Prediction Center, estimating that a good portion of the lower 48 will see above average temperatures for December, January, and February collectively, and very likely above average across the southeast as well as into New England. Below average conditions here into the Pacific Northwest, but what about precipitation? Likely above average in that location as well. But what is a little bit interesting is the above average precip here, and some maybe near average conditions into the Great Lakes. So maybe this will be our best shot for getting some snowy conditions. Of course, that's kind of the average, Chris, that we're expecting over that time period. It doesn't mean we won't get intrusions from time to time of Arctic air. We'll see.
It averages out, right, is kind of the idea here.
Keeping an eye on windy conditions. You know, last week in particular, while we didn't have a lot of storms, we had a lot of wind, and those winds can really cause some delays. So right now in New York, we've got wind gusts around 26 miles per hour. And while most of the metro airports are doing A-OK, Newark is reporting delays right now of about an hour. So those are arrival delays. Means if you're flying from other parts of the country trying to get into Newark, you're being held on average about an hour, 60 minutes. Your winds are west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. So I think it's that little bit of a crosswind that's causing the delays. Miami, it's not weather that's your problem. It's just that everybody and their mother wanted to go there apparently for the holidays. We've got departure delays, 15 minutes and rising. So that's probably pushing about 30 minutes right now. That's if you're trying to get out of Miami. And roadways are going to be a problem here across parts of the Great Lakes, where we've got our latest Clipper system. And the heaviest snowfall rates right now are across western parts of lower Michigan, around Grand Rapids, and on up towards the north. And that's where snowfall rates about 1 to 2 inches per hour. That's very difficult to drive through with limited visibility. Chris?